Shotzzy is going rogue once again on the timeline and here on stream. He's got a bunch of tweets and clips we gotta watch because this guy is really letting it out. Like, Demon Time Shotzzy is here. I mean, it's 11:30 at night when I'm recording this, so it's gonna come out even later than that. So we got a little late night upload here for you guys, or if it's early in the morning, good morning. But Shotzzy is going crazy right now, and we gotta talk about some of this stuff because a lot of the things he's saying are really good and like really right for the CDL. But there's also some things that I feel like maybe he's a little tilted and there's more behind the scenes we don't know, but let's just go through it all. The first two tweets here are obviously in reference to teams that I'm guessing they've played in the past, talking about studying breakoffs rather than playing efficient, calling them idiots, saying that people just kill her if they lose their breakoff. I mean, this is him just really trolling some of the bad teams in the league and the worst players, which is kind of hilarious. This tweet here, though, this shit is elite. Players getting payment cuts every year and wonder why. Clowns, most of y'all don't do this shit besides collect the check. And this is one of those tweets. I mean, we're starting off right away with this banger because, he's right? He is locked in. A lot of pros are now making a sizable check playing professional Call of Duty. They just got to play COD and they're going to make their money, right? They don't have to stream. They don't have to do anything outside of just show up to scrims and show up to their matches, and they're going to make their salary. But it's guys like Shotzzy who want the scene to be more. They want to grow the scene. They want to actually stream and make content and do things like OpTic does and like some other players and teams do, where there's a lot of teams that guys that just don't want to do that. So Shotzzy is going after their necks, which maybe is what people need to get that little kick in the ass to actually start changing the way things are done. He goes on to talk about 8s and how people are, people are saying 8s don't help this, but SND 8s won him champs in every tournament he's ever won. It's just another excuse not playing the game, right? Shotzzy here again saying people should be playing 8s. Not only does it help you get better, but it's obviously good content. It gives you something to stream. And then he rounded out his tweets, but we have clips to go through as well, where he says, good to chill now, but most CDL pros put the fries in the bag in a couple years because he is going rogue. I mean, Octane here saying, I like this new arc out of you. Shotzzy just doesn't care. And it's interesting to see that, like, all of a sudden, I feel like this is coming out of nowhere. The thing for me, why I think this is happening, is it's just pent up, right? Like, I feel like everybody at some point has experience where, like, you got either this anger or this sadness or whatever you want to say. In his case, it's definitely anger, pent up over time. And eventually, there's just one thing that ticks you over the edge. And I'm sure the whole streaming scrims things is what's finally done it here for Shotzzy. And it finally put him over the edge where he's coming after pros and he's speaking everything that comes to his mind. And to some extent, I mean, for one, obviously he has every right. Like, he can say whatever he wants. It's his personal Twitter and his stream. He can do whatever he wants. But he's also speaking a lot of facts. But then we get to this clip here. And this is really the only clip tweet from Shotzzy. I just kicked the hell out of my camera. I don't personally agree with his reaction. Let me play the clip for y'all so you can see what he says.
What is Scrap saying? Nah, I'm on your fucking ass too, Scrap. Who said this? Who said this? Okay, I don't know. Your fucking coach. And I don't give a fuck. I'm putting this guy on blast. I'm about to put the fucking DM in the chat. I'll read word for word, okay? This is what got sent to JP. Word for word. Fucking cringe ass fucking DM, dude. Troy. Yo, not trying to be streamed in our pack. So let me know what y'all trying to do. What? Not trying to be streamed in. Fuck you mean? Who the fuck are you? Like, what? Who are, bro, are y'all fucking fucking T1 in league? Do we have fucking 100,000? Like, what? Like, am I tripping? Do we have to pay to scrim y'all? Who the fuck are you guys? Like, what? Actually insane, dude. My bad for like coming at you, but I'm actually genuinely tight because this shit truly means a lot to me. Deadass.
Me personally, and listen, I already know the comments are coming in. Oh, you're biased because you're an LAT fan. You can think that. Like, I can't change your mind, obviously. If you think I'm biased, I'm an LAT fan. Anyone who's watched my content generally knows I'm pretty unbiased when it comes to things, and I'm pretty good at being unbiased about things. So you can believe me or not when I say I'm being unbiased in this. I feel like Shotzzy's just taking this the wrong way, right? Like, he read Sender's message word for word. It seemed pretty respectful in my opinion. I feel like he crashes out on Sender, as you saw in that clip, a little bit like you didn't really have to go that hard on Troy, especially a guy who he's like teamed with in the past, right? He's been his coach in the past, you'd think would be cool with. I just feel like he took it a little bit far in this clip, like, and it doesn't sound like they're trying to be egotistical or act like they're better than any other team asking you not to stream scrims. It's just the personal preference that I think every team should get. It's their scrims at the end of the day. It's their practice. If one team wants to stream him and one team doesn't, and another team is okay with someone streaming, but they're not going to stream. Like, everyone should be entitled to whatever they want to do with their practice. If you don't want to practice, if there's a team out there that just doesn't want to scrim, like, they are entitled to do that, right? So if you don't want to scrim on stream, I feel like you have that same right personally for me, but I'm sure people are already saying I'm biased in the comments. And then there was this thread here of Scrap talking to Shotzzy. Shotzy's live right now, and during the point of these tweets here, or these messages here, and Scrap was in his chat. He apparently says that all they want OpTic to do is cover the minimap, and they're down to play the scrims on stream. Some of the comments and things in the comments of this post are saying that OpTic covers the minimap anyway, so Scrap's just being a crybaby and making shit up. I saw some people say that, like, JP covers the minimap, but then he moves it after breakoffs, so I don't know the truth. Listen, if Scrap's just telling the truth straight up here and he's saying, all you gotta do is cover the minimap, we'll play on stream, then I don't see why OpTic couldn't do that. I'm sure they would. To me, what I'm gathering from a lot of this stuff is they never really communicated about any of the issues or the not streaming scrims or the streaming scrims and what was happening behind the scenes. It kind of just dropped like, hey, we don't want you to stream our scrims. And then everyone kind of blew up and no one actually really had a conversation about things, especially because originally when LAT and OpTic were supposed to play scrims on stream, Kenny had something come up anyway, so the scrims were canceled no matter what. It wasn't just LAT chalking them because of the streaming thing. So I feel like being as the scrims were already chalked, OpTic and LAT probably didn't really have much of a conversation about this until after all the dramas come out like we're seeing now. So I would imagine we're going to see these guys play on stream pretty soon here when it comes to scrims. We also saw Shotzzy say here in his interview post-game after their win today that he's tired of playing the shit stains, right? Like, he wants good practice. And to me, and maybe this is where I'm going to be a little biased, I think part of this whole streaming and scrims versus LAT is playing a factor in this, because I think OpTic and Shotzzy knows, like, LAT is probably the best competition, or at least one of the couple best teams in the league they're going to get practice against. And if they can't play against them because of this whole, you know, disagreement across the streaming, that probably is hella annoying for OpTic. That the team that's probably going to give them the best practice, they can't even play against because of a disagreement about whether it can be streamed or not. So I would imagine that partially plays into some of Shotzy's anger. Is like, I mean, the dude's a competitor. He wants to win. It's obvious for anybody. You don't have to be an OpTic fan to see that. And he wants to practice against the best so he can play his best in matches. So if he's not able to play practice against LAT, he's probably tilted a little bit. So I think part of that plays into it. And then we saw this clip here from Aches that I wanted to throw in at the end because people like to hate on Aches, but part of this whole issue we're having in the CDL, I actually think he's spitting on this one. So let me play the clip.
Where the publisher is signing an exclusivity deal that doesn't even allow major content creators to have watch parties on the biggest live streaming platform in the world. We can't even watch gameplay after the fact, after the tournament is off. And we are thinking that streaming scrims is saving us?
Some people
I'm sorry, but I'm just thinking about this and I'm like, do you understand the situation that we're in? Major content creators, organic interest that could automatically give interest to the scene, can't even watch the games.
Yeah.
It is hidden on a YouTube live stream that nobody even knows is going on. And we're here thinking that the reason that interest is low is because the players aren't creating content. This is insane. I don't know what timeline I'm living in, but I'm sorry. This is not what is fucking happening and why it's happening. Like,
and I mean, you heard what he said, and I think he is right. Like, people in the comments of this Reddit post, I mean, I can scroll down and show you, are hating, like, this guy doesn't actually watch matches. He only looks at scoreboards. He couldn't save his own game. He doesn't actually watch the matches for the show he's salaried. Like, listen, I mean, Aches clearly doesn't really watch the matches. I think he just maybe sees some highlights and looks at scoreboards before he comes on the flank. But, like, he is right. There's all this arguing about streaming scrims and not streaming scrims, and eights and things like that are going to grow the scene and help engage fans. The league is hindering itself first and foremost. Like, I respect and I love what OpTic and Shotzzy and them are trying to do. I think it will help. But ultimately, not even be able to look at clips on a show like The Flank, not even be able to watch party on Twitch for massive streamers that would pull in, you know, double the audience if they were on Twitch, like SCUMP and Zuma, is a big handicap to the league. So as much as us as fans and even the pros want to argue about streaming scrims and eights and all these little things, they're ultimately just low on the totem pole, in my opinion. But what I will say, they are relatively in the player's control. Like something like Twitch not being able to stream on Twitch the matches is not in anyone's control at this point because there's a YouTube deal that lasts 2 years, and this is the last year of that deal. So I understand the frustration across the board from every fan and player in the league, But a lot of it does come down to the league. And I feel like instead of like blaming each other and like getting mad at each other, like people are getting mad at me on Twitter. People are getting mad at other, you know, personalities and people, just regular people, fans who tweet on Twitter. They're getting mad at pros. The pros are getting mad at each other. Everyone really should be directing their energy and their anger towards Activision and the CDL because it truly is mostly their fault that we're in this position in the first place. But hey, you let me know about Shotzzy going rogue. Do you like Demon Time Shotzzy or not? I'm all for it, man. I definitely think he's got to be careful what he says because when and if, when OpTic eventually lose again at some point this year, right? Obviously they're not going to win every match for the rest of the season. Teams are going to be using this as fodder to tweet, and it may or may not tilt OpTic fans and Shotzzy more or less. I guess you don't really know, but I'm all for it, bro. Demon Time Shotzzy, keep it coming, man. If you guys want more CDL content, I'm going to be live with the watch party the rest of this weekend for the minor and more videos to come. So hopefully you enjoy it, and I'll see y'all in the next one.